Now, the Congress of Traditional Leaders of South Africa has given the go-ahead for initiation schools to open in December. The initiation season, usually held over winter, was delayed to year-end due to the COVID-19 pandemic. To tell us more about this decision, I'm joined now by Kgosi Mathupha Mokoena, the President of Contralesa. A very good morning to you. Thank you so much for your time. You've given the go-ahead for the initiation schools to open in December. Did you get your go-ahead from government?
Thank you very much for having me, Madam. What we decided is to allow our people to continue practicing their culture. As you are aware, when we practice our culture, we don't need any permission from anyone. But what we have decided to do is that people who are going to be allowed to run these schools this coming summer, we have decided to say to them, we are going to demand that they strictly adhere to all the protocol as dictated by the COVID-19 regulations, because we don't want to be seen as irresponsible leaders here. But definitely, we'll make sure that all measures are put in place, Madam.
You say you don't need any permission from anyone to ensure cultural practices are adhered to, but we know that we are really in an unprecedented time where coronavirus has killed millions of people across the world. As you speak about the measures that you'll be putting in place, talk to us a little bit more about what these measures will be.
What we've decided to do is to say all regulations will be adhered to the book. Any person who is not prepared to follow all those regulations as stipulated, he or she will not be given any permission to run these schools. We have decided as Contralesa to deploy all our cleaners to all the regions, all our branches, and just to make sure that whoever will be having a permit to run the school, we will be monitoring that on a regular basis, because we don't want to experience what we experienced before. As this responsible leadership, there is no way we'll allow our boys' lives to be put at risk. And we have decided that no one will relax, will sit on their laurels. And we even demanded from our colleagues, traditional leadership, that please give those permits to people with experience. People are going to deploy all the educators at those schools, those who have experience. Gone are the days where people are going to have these schools just to make money. And I'm happy that...
Sorry, if you'll allow me to interrupt you there for the sake of time. You speak about how you don't need permission from anyone, and you appear very vague as to what sort of regulations will be followed. And we know that these schools we've had a number of deaths occurring. We've had a lot of regulations not being followed even before COVID-19. I'd like for you to please expand on these regulations that you plan to ensure are put in place for these initiation schools to get the go-ahead to run and operate under the current lockdown regulations.
Yeah, I understand you, Madam, because you might not have a clue of what's happening up there. But the regulations that I'm talking about is that the new normal that has been talked about by everybody else apply to us as Contralesa and as traditional leaders as well. We'll make sure that all those who will be given permission, they will follow all the regulations. And when I say we're going to adhere to those, is that social distancing will be observed even there. People will be expected to sanitize, to do all what is expected. And what's going to be different now is that we're not going to allow these large numbers to go to the mountain. We'll make sure that we strictly adhere to a certain number. The number will be negotiated between ourselves and the person who will be having a permit to have this school. There's no vaguing what I'm saying. It's exactly what's going to happen, Madam. Unfortunately, I can't go deep into exactly what's going to happen there, but I can assure you that all measures will be put in place this time, and there will be no compromise. Anyone who wants to follow this, the school will be closed immediately.
Okay, very well. Thank you so much for your time. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. That was President of Contralesa, Kgosi Mokoena, discussing the decision and how schools will abide by COVID-19 regulations. Very vague on that expansion.